This is one thing, bro. I've been so fucking tired of. COVID ruined this for me. Back in the day, it used to be so fucking good. Everything was open until 3 a.m., until 5 a.m., and then now it's closed constantly. COVID ruined everything.
Do you ever just wake up in the middle of the night? Maybe you're having a bit of insomnia with nothing better to do and want to get out of the house. Or maybe you just got off work and aren't ready to go home yet. So you get in your car and go out to pick up a late night snack, hit the gym, or maybe get some grocery shopping done. It's peaceful out. You can beat the crowds and pass the time. Maybe it's a 7-Eleven or a pizza place or even a bookstore. There's gotta be something to do besides get drunk. But after driving around for a while, almost everything is closed.
That's right.
Didn't that place used to be open all night? Even
to be fair, 7-Eleven is one of the only places that is open pretty much 24/7 here. Like, I went to, I didn't know about this about Austin, but there's a lot of McDonald's locations in Austin that aren't 24/7. They close at like 10 p.m. There's churches that are open later than 10 p.m. What the fuck?
The gas stations stop selling gas at 7 p.m. Aside from a few bars and maybe a liquor store, downtown is dead. This is 11 p.m. on a Saturday night in Oakland, California, and it's a ghost town. But this could be anywhere in the USA right now. It's like the whole country is afraid of the dark. What happened?
That's right.
Why does everything close early now?
I remember very clearly my mom and I at 3 in the morning. I'd be like, you ready to go to McDonald's? She's like, yeah, give me like a half hour. And we pull up to McDonald's at 3:30, 2:30 in the morning, getting food and stuff like, yeah, no, that's the way it used to be. Whataburger is open 24/7. In my opinion, they should be open, let's see, 24/0. I think Whataburger sucks.
It's after midnight. You're hungry and your stomach is talking to you.
What is 24/7?
24/7 is
24 hours a day,
7 days a week.
You can drive to Wendy's, where the pickup window is now open late.
There's a moment at night when all you want is fourth meal.
Because so many Shell stations are open 24
I forgot
hours.
all about that. Taco Bell even had an entire, they even created an entire term for this.
There was a time when it seemed like everything was open late. In any little town in the
2018.
middle of nowhere, you could walk around the 24-hour Walmart at 3 a.m. looking for nothing in particular.
That's
if you
right.
needed a random item and needed it fast, you knew you could rely on something being open to go pick it up. Now the best you've got is Amazon Prime next day delivery, and only if you live in the city. If you live in a rural area, good luck. There used to be this little spot off of 19th Avenue in San Francisco called Irving Pizza. One night, way back in 2013, I was out late at a concert in Berkeley and my phone broke. And I missed the last BART train home and got stuck taking the all-night bus, which is slow and comes once an hour, if it even shows up. When I eventually made it back to the city, I realized that I was locked out, and it was 2 a.m. But lucky for me, Irving Pizza was open every night until 4. It gave me a place where I could safely be to sit down and eat a slice and wait for anyone to wake up in the morning and let me inside. That little...
So I remember this is Whataburger is like this, but and I know one reason why they don't have that. I guess I'll just say it. So I had a girl visit, and she brought her friend whenever I first met her, and I said, okay, I'm gonna take you to Whataburger because you know this is your first time in Texas. And you're gonna, this is like a year, or like 2 years ago, right? About 2 years ago, something like that. And she went in there and she wouldn't even stay inside of the lobby. She was standing outside of the lobby because there were a number of potentially hostile NPCs that were camping the lobby. And by camping, I literally do mean that they were living there. And so, like, yeah, she didn't even want to go in. She didn't even want to be in the lobby. Yeah, it sounds like it's bad. Yeah, like, here, a hostile. Yeah, and I was like, I'm like, what's the problem? What ethnicity? Oh my God, were they black? Wait, what? Oh, of course, because of racism. No, shut the fuck up. Stop it. Stop it.
Pizza spot saved my ass from being stuck on the street in the middle of the night, and eventually, I did get in. Granted, their other location is in a busy part of town, and it's still open late on weekends. but in the suburban west side of the city, places like that are rare now. That location is long since closed, but the business that took its place in that building closes at midnight now, and it's one of the latest open spots in the block. And this trend is happening more and more as time goes on. And much of it, like a lot of societal issues we've seen in recent years, stems back to 2020 and the COVID pandemic.
That's right. That's right. There it is. That's the
Seriously,
problem.
the pandemic f***ed us all up.
Yep.
A lot. Society still hasn't...
Hold up. I actually think COVID was great. I finally have people that were they would not fucking bother me. Finally, people would stop fucking bothering me. I'm like, guys, I can't go out. It's COVID.
It was a collective trauma that fully recovered from. Stuck indoors all day and night, most people only left the house for essential trips or if they were essential workers. This basically killed the economy for a while. With less overall customers, retail stores either closed altogether or deeply cut back hours to the bare minimum to stay profitable. In most cities and states, indoor dining was either outright prohibited or severely restricted. And what came in its place was takeout, and of course, delivery. Enter the holy trinity of Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub. During the pandemic, I was an essential worker in San Francisco. And by that I mean, I drove for Uber Eats, all hours of the night. Business was booming. I made as much delivering food than I did at the office job I was laid off from. But with it, I started to notice a trend. You'd get an order, and it'd be from some weird, random restaurant you'd never even heard of. And you'd drive to the location, and it would be in some office park or warehouse or somebody nobody would ever locate a damn pizza place. And then they would run 4, 5, maybe 10 different restaurants out of this single location. Ghost kitchens.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of these.
They only exist in the apps, delivery-only businesses, and they tend to run relatively late at night. So this put even more pressure on the average local sit-down diner. And as the pandemic began to wane a little bit, those ghost kitchens did not go away.
How ghost kitchens went from 1 trillion, what was it saying? 1 trillion hype to a struggling business model. I think the reason why the ghost kitchen's business model kind of went down and it became less popular is actually really simple. It's because the quality, the idea of a ghost kitchen is that it's a lower quality product. Yeah, shit food. Like the Mr. Beast thing was really bad for them.
That's just one factor out of many. Cost of living has skyrocketed. Rent, supplies, labor costs, all of it. And a lot of workers were hesitant to risk their lives to come in the middle of the night for minimum wage. And small businesses already facing tight margins couldn't afford to pay them more. So what do? You cut hours and focus on the daytime crowd.
That's right.
Fast food too. A lot of McDonald's and Taco Bell locations used to keep their inside lobbies open relatively late, if not 24 hours in some places. But when COVID hit, most of them became drive-through only.
Due to staffing shortages, we've adjusted our operating hours. I don't believe this. I think this is fake. There's no misspellings. No, this is fake. This is a fake photo. There's no way they wrote this many words and nothing was spelled wrong.
And a lot still are. And if they are open again, usually only during the day and early evening, and it's become harder and harder to find a 24-hour drive-through these days. Let's not forget about retail. Another industry hollowed out by the pandemic, brick and mortar stores had already been suffering, but this was accelerated as most were not deemed essential. Like grocery stores often had to limit the number of customers to come in at a time due to social distancing regulations. And like the restaurants, they faced strong competition from e-commerce. In particular, sites like Amazon, Temu, Shein, and even Walmart heavily invested into the online shopping experience. When you can order almost anything you need from the comfort of your own home and have it delivered to you within the next couple of days, why bother even going out unless you already are out? And once cities opened back up and return to office became a thing for white-collar workers, they were mostly out and about during the day. When your business is already struggling to stay competitive in such an environment, and late night has always seen lower demand, cutting hours is a no-brainer. When remote work was more prominent, many folks moved out of their apartments near the job centers and into larger homes in the suburbs where you could get a little more space at a better price. This devastated many downtowns, which already relied heavily on the foot traffic of office workers during the day. And
there's also a big problem where they have more zombies and hostile NPCs downtown now. Like, I've been seeing fent zombies even where I'm at. Like, I went to a shopping center and it's like, you don't really need to, it's like The Walking Dead, right? I mean, they're not going to do anything. They're like, you just have to walk around them, but you don't want to deal with them either, right? It's stressful.
Where the inner city basically died. And with it came increased crime, living brought homelessness, and drug use spiked.
That's what I was talking about.
It's a bad time to be out at night. The urbanist Jane Jacobs wrote in her 1961 book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities, of the concept of eyes on the street, which in a nutshell states that the more people you have going about their lives, working, shopping, frequenting bars and restaurants and everything else, the less likely there is to be crime. She called it national surveillance, which admittedly sounds a little creepy. But to Jane,
I think that's kind of true. No, I think she's right. People are more likely to do bad shit if they don't think anybody's watching them. Definitely. Yeah, sure.
Jacobs, public safety was not just the responsibility of the police force, but all of us in the community. And by having thriving 24-hour cities, we all acted as informal.
I also think that, by the way, her analysis on this is dated because, like, we had a much more culturally homogenous society in 1960 or whenever she wrote this book. Whereas now you have a much more multicultural and divided society. So there's less of an idea of camaraderie and the same type of like cultural expectations that something like Japan would have.
Watchdogs, keeping an eye on each other.
This is outdated.
And when you remove those eyes from the streets, what
not
takes
completely,
its place
but partially.
is not fun for anybody. Without the built-in surveillance of a vibrant community, cities and businesses within them rely more and more on heavy-handed methods.
Yeah.
The other night, it was around 11:30 p.m., and I wanted to go to Safeway to pick up some groceries. The location I went to its credit, is open till midnight. So I parked in the parking lot and got this footage. And while I was sitting there in my car, getting ready to go in.
What animal does this? See, this is the kind of stuff that, like, if I was, like, you'd go to jail for this. Straight, you just go to jail. I've had enough of this shit. This is ridiculous. The fuck are we doing? Where's cart narcs? No. Talking about jail. Where, like, if you get caught doing this, I put you on 10 hours. I'm being nice. Of mandatory community service, working at a location like this, pushing carts back up and collecting them. That's right. 10 whole hours? That's right. That's the first one. Second one would be like a year in jail.
An extremely loud voice yelled out at me to stop trespassing and that they'd called the police.
You are trespassing.
Holy shit. So
what?
I got in my car and I've been filming B-roll footage.
What the
because
fuck?
I'm going to do the video on why everything closes early. So I want to like footage of like nighttime stuff that's closed. And I went to Safeway. The Safeway like in Piedmont, like right on the like Oakland Piedmont border. And I park in the parking lot and Safeway is still open, by the way.
Yeah.
And I get on my camera and I'm just like filming like shot of like a shopping cart in the parking lot.
Yep.
Like I do, right? And all of a sudden, over the loudspeaker, this voice says, "You are trespassing. Please leave the area. You're being recorded." And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Safeway's still open. Like,
this is ridiculous that we let this shit happen. It is absolutely ridiculous we let this happen. So exactly like Singapore, they make you clean the street for a day if you get caught littering. Yeah, that's what you get. The reason why the companies are doing this is because crime is not being accurately punished. Like, there's a degree of tension and stress when a person comes and sits in your parking lot that doesn't exist in a society that's of higher trust. And so the problem with this, I don't think is really COVID. I think it is the government's unwillingness to do and take action that creates a high trust society. And the way that you do that is you hold bad actors accountable. And if you don't hold those bad actors accountable, you get bullshit like this.
I was going to go in there and like actually buy something. That just proves my point. Things close early. They treat everybody that's out at night like they're a criminal.
She looks like a Karen was just told to stop trespassing in a parking lot. She wasn't being a Karen. She didn't do anything wrong. That's the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that the reaction that she received doesn't exist inside of a microcosm. It exists inside of an apparatus of other problems that are the same thing.
I was going to shop at that Safeway after that experience. And on the drive home, I was followed by 2 police cars, simply for minding my own business and staying in my car in the parking lot a little longer than they deemed was acceptable. This criminalization of simply being in a space at night, even during business hours, creates within both law enforcement and the broader culture a perception that nothing worth happening happens after dark. That if you're out late, you must be up to no good. And this obviously is not true. Some people work overnight shifts at hospitals or in warehouses or as firefighters or Uber drivers. Work still gets done in the late night hours. And the people who work those shifts deserve to be able to participate in society as much as the next person.
I don't think you can force businesses to be open late at night, but I can sure as fuck complain about it. I can absolutely complain about it, and I will.
Doesn't necessarily mean you're bad. It just means that you like to be out at night.
I went to 7-Eleven because it's still kind of light outside. It's like 8:30. And look at my haul here. I got me some pistachios, some wasabi almonds, some of that Modesto Blue Diamond almonds, and of course, a Red Bull, sugar-free, because I've stopped drinking sugary drink.
Huge mistake. Huge mistake. Never stop. Never stop. If you stop, no. Never stop drinking soda.
It is starting to get dark, and I was like in the parking lot.
Yep.
And it said, "Thank you for visiting 7-Eleven. This parking lot is being video recorded." It's like a tiny, tiny little parking lot. Like, it's so small.
Yep.
They really close this 7-Eleven hella early now. It used to be open 24 hours. I remember coming here middle of the night, riding my bike. I used to do late night bike rides around the lake here. And yeah, you could go anytime. It would be open. Now it closes at like 9-10 p.m.
This particular 7-Eleven started closing early for a number of reasons. Crime was a big one.
There it is. That's the fucking reason. It's because the people that are in the fucking city aren't getting arrested for stealing shit. That's the problem. That's the big issue. Solve that problem, everything else goes away. That's it.
Of life that robberies do happen more often at night when there are less people around to witness them.
It's easier to,
But this is in a vibrant, busy urban area with a lot of dense housing nearby, and it's not a particularly bad neighborhood either. But pretty much everything within a few blocks closes up at 9, 10, or 11 p.m. at the very...
because they don't want it to be like a PvP area. They don't want to have people running into their store, like 5 guys run into the store with masks and just grab a bunch of shit and run away. That's the reason why it's a problem. And it's because these guys never get in trouble.
Most places close a lot earlier.
Free loot.
So
exactly.
What do the people who actually live in these areas like to do at night? Well, they're scrolling TikTok or Instagram Reels, listening to Spotify instead of going out to concerts, chatting with friends online, using ChatGPT as their therapist, or they're going to bed early. We've become homebodies. With infinite options for every aspect of life, from entertainment, shopping, dining, love and romance, culture, and friendship, all in the palm of our hands, there's less incentive to actually get out on the town and do something.
Well, there's no reason to, right? And also, it's because people don't want to. If you're min-maxing, dating on an app is more efficient because you can go through more people faster. Now, obviously, you might have like a higher success rate IRL. I mean, I can't really speak to this, but I've heard that's what's happened. But yeah, it's just simply more efficient. It's also because shit's expensive, man. Yeah, and that's also another thing is that, like, if you're a guy, why do you want to go out to a bar and go pay for fucking, like, how much is a drink at whatever bar you guys go to? Just your average rum and coke, $15. That's insane. It's an insane amount of money. Of course people aren't going to do that.
People aren't out. The businesses don't have a reason to stay open. It's cultural as much as it is economic. And if you're going to bed at 10 p.m., why would you want to get a job working at 7-Eleven overnight? Businesses have had trouble staffing late night shifts in recent years, which in turn leads to late night hours being cut. Public transit in most cities has reduced or even no service hours after dark. And when less people are taking that transit...
And that's another reason. It's because you know what these places are? There are hostile NPCs that inhabit these areas, and there are rare spawns that will come in here, and they will attack you. That's the reason, is people see these videos of, like, these subway psychos, and they're like, well, I don't want to take this late at night where it's just me and this other guy on the train together, because what if he thinks that he wants to eat me?
Time to cut the budget. Reducing or eliminating late night service seems like the least harmful option. When we treat the people who inhabit the night like criminals...
Well, the reason why they're treating them like criminals is because there's a lot of fucking criminals out there and nothing happens to them. Really, that's the reason why. It's not like they're doing this for no reason. What do you think? They like having jewel cases on everything, so you have to fucking talk to a fucking associate so you can get your toothpaste? Fuck no, you don't. They don't want to do that. That's a waste of their time and money. It's a waste of everything. The only reason why they do it is because they don't want to have their shit stolen.
The other night, I was driving around town, and I came upon a gas station, a typical Chevron. And when I went to fill up my tank, I realized that not even just the store was shut, but the pumps themselves were disabled after 7 p.m.
This is PvP server behavior. As I said, guys, if we took 2% of the population and we just put them in jail, period. All of these problems would instantly go away. Every problem like this would immediately disappear.
Station closed up early, it's not like that everywhere in town. There still is a good deal of vibrant nightlife in a city like Oakland. But like many cities, gentrification and higher housing costs have made it harder and harder to afford a night out. And the younger generations are going out less, drinking less, and clubbing less.
Why stop at 2%? 2% would be the baseline. That would be where you start. Like, that would be the mandatory minimum. Like, I used to think that mandatory amounts of people in jail was a bad thing. After seeing the world, I've realized that sometimes you can never have too much of a good thing.
And the younger generations are going out less, drinking less, and clubbing less.
They don't have money. They don't have money. And also, getting drunk is less entertaining when everybody has a camera. Or, you know, like inappropriately hitting on somebody at a bar. Like, this stuff probably happened all the time in 1985, but it wasn't recorded, so it didn't matter. So now, because like all of this is being recorded, people don't want to be part of that. Voluntary surveillance state? No, I'm being serious about that.
And that's not all bad. But the nighttime doesn't have to be scary or full of crime. We need viable late night options beyond just nightclubs, liquor stores, drive-thrus, and bars. We need late night libraries, cafes, restaurants, and shopping malls. Will we get them? Not if we don't use them. We need safer streets, and that doesn't always come from just putting up security cameras, increasing police patrols. It comes from a community that cares for each other and keeps each other accountable to one another, something that our modern tech-driven culture has seemed to have lost. We treat each other and the space we live in like it's disposable. So maybe this is what we wanted all along. No more awkward small talk with a cashier or 3 a.m. pizza run. Just calm and quiet inside, in bed early, checking our notifications, until we crash out alone once again.
Well, I feel like crashing out alone is definitely a multi-purposed term at that point. Yeah, it's a topic that I care a lot about because I stay up pretty late at night. Like, usually what I do is I'm usually awake until like 3 to 4 to 5 a.m. and then I'll wake up at like 10 to 11. That's generally what I do. She's complaining about branches being thrown in the street. Who cares? You throw a branch in the street? Jail. Immediate jail. What are you doing throwing sticks in the street for, bitch? What the f*** is wrong with you? It's the treating everybody like a criminal. I do think that that's extremely... Like, I'm surprised she didn't talk about the jewel cases, because I think that this isn't really something that's happened exclusively in the nightlife, but I think that we've increasingly had a lower and lower trust society because of, for whatever reasons, politicians' inability or unwillingness to enforce the law. And because of that, that's how you get food deserts. That's how you get, businesses closing. And I think this is a huge problem, because the big issue with this is that the people that are the biggest victims of these stores closing, like the CVS closes because people steal. The reason why people commit crime is because they think they can get away with it. Why do you think people are always committing crime wearing masks? Why do you think they're committing crime using burner phones, etc.? I would never, and you guys know this in high school. How many of you guys had a class in high school where every single person were let me tell you, if anybody can relate to this story, okay? I had a class, it was not even in the fucking building, okay? It was in a portable near the fucking parking lot. And it was history class with the football coach who teaches us every day about how his father beat the Nazis in World War II. Every fucking day. That was it. That's all it was. And you had every problem boy in the entire school. You had the kids that were going around, smoking weed, doing drugs, talking back to the teachers, causing all kinds of problems. But the moment that they got into that portable, it was yes, sir, no, sir. Do you need me to help you pass around the book, sir? And there were no problems at all. And you know why? It's because they knew that he wouldn't put up with their shit. Instantaneously, if there were any even slight fuck-ups, you're done, you're out, you're finished. Like, I had one time, there was this kid that was he was in 11th grade, and he was fucking 18 or something like that, and he was in 9th grade biology. and he walked over and he had like a pass, like a hall slip, and he slapped it on the teacher's chest like this. And the teacher walked over to him, and this teacher also was like a 6'5" former football player. And this kid was pretty tall too. He's about as tall as I am. So, you know, a little bit under 6'5". And he leans over and he puts his hand on the kid's desk, closer to like where the kid is sitting. And he says, if you ever do that again, I'm going to beat the fucking shit out of you in front of the entire class, and it's going to be okay because you touched me first, and that's considered assault. So if you ever do anything bad, and this is in front of the entire fucking class. And he's sitting there, and he's like, oh, never another problem from that kid for the entire rest of the semester. He never got up. He was never talking to people during the lecture. He always had his book open. And the thing is also, by the way, this is a good thing because that guy needs another older guy to keep him in check. That's the way it works. Exactly. I had no dad. Yeah, exactly. This is, and it's not that it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's like, yeah, there it is. Like, okay, listen, bro, like you want to go and fuck around. That's what's going to happen. And the thing is, if you've ever dealt with young guys, you know that there's some of them that will only respond to a mutual level of aggression or an over-aggression because they think like, oh, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And then the moment that you're like, no, you're not. And that would be it, right? You'd be totally finished. It wouldn't be any problem at all.